Morning to all of you. Today we are going to study the part of flower. Okay, previously we completed the root, stem, and leaves. So now we are going to study something detailed about the flower. So what is actually flower? Flower is the reproductive structure in a plant. Okay, in the flowering plant, flower is the reproductive structure. How the flower is produced, how the flower is formed. The flower is formed from floral bud. Okay, so where is actually the floral bud present? How the floral bud is formed? So how it differentiated floral bud? So from the floral bud, the leaf, the flower is originated. Flower is differentiated. So see, suppose this is the stem. So this is a stem. In the stem having the node. In the node you may found a branch or a leaf. In this angle between the stem and the branch or the leaf, you may found a bud. That bud is known as the axillary bud. Okay. So from this axillary bud, maybe produce a flower, or it may be produce a leaf, or it may be produce a branch. If a branch formed, that is known as the bud for the branch. If a leaf is produced, it is known as the foliar bud. Or if a flower is produced, it is known as the floral bud. Okay. So suppose this is the floral bud. And the floral bud you may see at the apex of the plant stem also. Here also you may found it. So flower may be produced from the apical bud, or it may be produced from the axillary bud. Okay, wherever it may be, it is known as a floral bud. And if you take the floral bud is a highly condensed structure. Highly condensed means it reduced the size maximum. But you remember that this is the stem. So if stem, it has the node. Okay, so here is the one node. So here is the node. This is the another node. This is the third node. Like that, many nodes are present on the floral bud. Because of bud, floral bud is the part of the stem. If a stem, it must have nodes and internode. But the distance between the node, that means the length of the internode is highly condensed, so we cannot differentiate it. It is an internode. Okay, but a node there and internode there. From the first node, it is producing the bud, that a leaf-like structure, or a leaf. That leaf is performing particular function. So it is not known as the leaf, it is known as the calyx. Okay. So above that, the leaf, again leaf present there, but it is not a leaf, and this leaf is modified into colored structure that is known as a corolla. Okay. Then again above that, one more node present, and from that node it is producing the androecium. So it is producing the androecium. And again one node present here, it is producing the gynoecium. Okay. So like so this flower is actually what is, it is a highly condensed shoot system. Why it is a highly condensed shoot system? Because it is showing the nodes and internode. From each node it is producing the leaf, but this leaf is modified to perform a particular function, and that modified leaf is known as the calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. So all these part, that is the gynoecium, androecium, and corolla and calyx are nothing but it is a leaf modified part, and it is arising from the node. Between this structure, this leaf-like structure, modified leaf-like structure, a short condensed part present, that is the internode. So remember that the leaf, the flower is a modified shoot system, highly condensed shoot system. Internode cannot differentiate very easily, and from each node it is producing the different floral part or floral whorls. Okay, so a flower is a highly condensed shoot system. It is specially designed for the purpose of the sexual reproduction. That is a definition for the flower. So what is a flower? Flower is a highly condensed shoot system. It is specially designed for the purpose of the sexual reproduction. Okay, so that is the very good definition for the flower. And this flower having 4 whorls. So the different parts are arranged in a circle, that is known as a whorls. Whorl means a circle, arranged in the form of a circle. So it is known as a whorls, that is known as the whorls of the flower. So it is known as a floral whorls. So how many floral whorls? There are 4 floral whorls, and these whorls are arranged on a structure. There is a Solon structure. That Solon structure is known as a thalamus. Okay, a flower having a stalk. The stalk is known as the pedicel. The end of the pedicel is a swollen and enlarged, that is enlarged swollen part is known as the thalamus. On the thalamus, you can see the nodes and internode, and from the nodes it is producing the first word that is known as the calyx, and some flower epicalyx may be the calyx. Then inner to the calyx, from the node it is producing the another very brightly colored structure that is known as the corolla, and inner to that it is producing the third word that is known as androecium, and this androecium is the male sex organ. So it is representing the male sex organ, and inner to that it is producing the gynoecium, and this gynoecium representing the female sex organ. Okay, so these are the four words. So what are the four words? First word is known as the calyx. Second word is known as the corolla. And the third word is known as the androecium. And the fourth word is known as the gynoecium. Okay, these are the four words arranged one inner to the another. Gynoecium. So number fourth, it is known as the gynoecium. So see here, these are the four words. And these words are arranged one inner to the another. The outermost word is known as the calyx, innermost word is known as the gynoecium, and in between that corolla and androecium. Then see, out of the four words, the two words, that is the calyx and the corolla, is not essentially necessary. If it is not there, the flower can do the reproduction, so it is not essentially necessary. So this calyx and corolla is known as the non-essential words. Non-essential word, and the next two words, that is the androecium and gynoecium. This is the non-essential word, and androecium and gynoecium is essentially necessary for the reproduction, and without androecium and gynoecium, reproduction cannot take place, and so these words, two words, are known as the essential words. So out of the four words, two words are the non-essential and two words are the essential words. Why it is called non-essential? If it is not, it still can reproduce very easily and very smoothly, but if these two words are absent, androecium and gynoecium is absent, it cannot do reproductive function. So these two words are known as the essential words, and these two words are known as the non-essential words. So like that, it can be differentiated into two words. See, in some plant like coconut, so some plant, see some of the plant like coconut plant. So what happens in the coconut plant or the arecanut, supari, arecanut, annona means rampal, sitapal, annona. In these plants, there is a particular structure, that is the calyx and the corolla is not differentiated. You cannot differentiate this is the calyx, this is the corolla. Both together forming a structure that is known as the perianth. Okay, so what is the perianth? In some plants like coconut, annona, like plants, the calyx and the corolla is not differentiated, and both together forming a particular structure that is known as the perianth. Okay, so then we will study the calyx, corolla, and all these parts separately, individually, in details. So that is the perianth. Okay. Then next, the flowers are two types, that is the bisexual flower and unisexual flower. So what is the word meaning of bisexual flower? Why some flowers are called bisexual and some flowers are called unisexual flowers? So what is the difference between these two? So the word indicating the meaning, actually the word indicating the meaning. So what is the bisexual? Bisexual means the flower having both the sex organs. What are the both sex organs? Androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is the male sex organ and gynoecium is the female sex organ. So if both the male sex organ and female sex organ, male and female, both the sex organ present in the one flower, in one flower, both the male and female sex organ in one flower, then this flower is known as what is, that is known as the bisexual flower. For example, hibiscus is a bisexual flower. And if only one sex organ present in a flower, so either it may be male or it may be female, either androecium or it may be gynoecium, then this flower is known as what is unisexual flower. Only one sex organ present. Example, papaya. In the case of the papaya, in one plant it is producing the male flower, and another plant it is producing the female flower. Okay, so this is called unisexual. So flower may be bisexual or it may be unisexual. Okay, and if here the unisexual, if only male sex organ present, that is the stamen present or the androecium present, that is known as the staminoid flower. Staminoid. Only one sex organ present, that is the male sex organ, then that flower is known as a staminoid. And if only the gynoecium present, carpel present, that is known as the carpellate or the pistillate. It is known as the pistillate. Pistillate flower. So flowers again, see two types. The male flower is known as a staminoid and the female flower is known as the pistillate or the carpellate flower. Okay, so these are the two type of the flower. So then we are going to study the symmetry in flowers. So what is the symmetry in flower? Symmetry, so what is the word meaning symmetry? Symmetry means the arrangement of the parts of the flower. Symmetry, arrangement of the part of the flower on an imaginary axis. So how it arranged? If an imaginary axis, suppose this is the imaginary axis, on the imaginary axis on either side the floral parts are equally differentiated, equally arranged. This like this. If arranged like this, it is a one type of the symmetry. Okay. So if the floral part arranged in different method, that is the another symmetry, and in third different method, that is known as another symmetry. So the symmetry is a different. How the floral parts are arranged on either side of the imaginary axis, that is known as a symmetry. The symmetry are three types. In the case of the flower, there are three types of symmetry. That is the actinomorphic. Some of the flower is called actinomorphic. The symmetry is actinomorphic symmetry. So what is actinomorphic? We will study that actinomorphic. So one of the symmetry is known as the actinomorphic symmetry, and the second symmetry is known as the zygomorphic. Zygomorphic flowers, and the third symmetry is known as the asymmetrical flowers. The symmetry is no symmetry, then it is known as asymmetrical flowers. So like that, symmetrical. There are three types of the flowers. That is known as the actinomorphic flower, zygomorphic flower, and asymmetrical flower. So let us take the first one, that is the actinomorphic flower. So what is actually actinomorphic flower? So if a flower is actinomorphic, that means it is showing the radial symmetry. Okay. So actinomorphic is equal to radial symmetry. That is studied in the case of the animal, in the animal kingdom. So the radial symmetry. So the actinomorphic is otherwise known as the radial symmetry. Okay, so how it appearing? Suppose a flower having a circular part. Suppose this is the circular part. So the example hibiscus. This is the hibiscus flower. Here is the petals, and here is the calyx, etc. And androecium, gynoecium will be there. So when you take a cut along with any radius, you take the this radius, or you take the cut along this radius, or this radius, or this radius, it is giving the equal part. So whenever a flower cutting along with any radius, it is giving two equal part, then such a type of the flower is known as what is actinomorphic flower. Example, hibiscus is a good example for the actinomorphic flower. Hibiscus, Jaswandi म्हणतो आपण मराठीमध्ये hibiscus flower. Okay, number 2. So this is the number 1 and the number 2. That is a zygomorphic flower. So what is a zygomorphic flower? So zygomorphic means the flower giving two equal parts when cutting along with only one plant. So that is called a zygomorphic flower. So for example, one plant, it is giving two equal parts when cutting along with one plant. So for example, clitoria, one plant, clitoria, Krishna Kamal, Marathi Madhe Krishna Kamal म्हणतो, clitoria, one plant. So this flower giving two equal parts when cutting along with only one flower. So all the pea plant are example for this. Pea flowers, axillary distribution, pea flowers. The pea flower giving two equal parts when cutting along with only one plant, then it is known as actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means when cutting with any radius or any plant, it is called actinomorphic. When cutting along with one plant, it gives two equal parts, that is known as zygomorphic flower. Okay, and the third one is known as the asymmetrical flower. So why it is called asymmetry? It is not giving any two equal parts when cutting along with any radius. So any radius, any plant. So then it is called asymmetrical flower. For example, kanna. So the kanna, Marathi मध्ये त्याला कर्दळ म्हणतात आपण. So this kanna flower never gives two equal parts when you are cutting along with any plant. Then we say that it has no symmetry. So that is asymmetrical flower. So according to the symmetry, the flowers can be classified into actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetrical. Okay. The next technical terms that is trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous. Trimerous. So what is actually trimerous? Trimerous. The flower is a trimerous. We say that it is a trimerous. It is a tetramerous, or it may be pentamerous. Tetramerous. So what is the word meaning? Trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous. So I will explain the word meaning. Pentamerous. So here you know that tri means 3. Tri means 3. Tetra means 4. And penta means what is 5. So when a flower gives the different parts of the flower is arranged on the 3 radius, then it is known as a trimerous. Okay. All the monocotyledon flowers are the trimerous. Monocot plant. Monocot plant having the flowers, monocot flowers, monocot plant. Monocot plant producing the flowers, and the flowers of the monocot plant is the trimerous. Okay. Then all the dicot plant showing the pentamerous. Dicot plant. So what is actually pentamerous? Pentamerous means the floral part means calyx, corolla, and anthrace and gynoecium is arranging on the 5 radius, then it is known as a pentamerous. And if the plant parts are arranged on the 4 radius, it is known as the tetramerous. This is also dicot plant. For example, this one Morich flower, that is the mustard flower, mustard Brassiaceae family, mustard flower or the Brassiaceae family. You can see the floral parts are arranged on 4 radius, then it is known as a tetramerous. 3 radius, the floral part arranged, it is known as a trimerous, and pentamerous means 5 radius, the 5 radius, the floral parts are arranged, it is known as the pentamerous. Okay, so like that, pentamerous, the spelling is P-E-N-T, pentamerous. Okay, so then next, the flowers are classified into bracteate and ebracteate. So what is the bracteate and ebracteate? Bracteate flower and ebracteate flower. Flowers are classified into bracteate and ebracteate flower. So what is the word meaning of bracteate and ebracteate flower? So let us take the meaning of the bracteate and ebracteate flower. Okay. So bracteate means, so before that, what is actually bract? Bract means what is? Then we take the meaning of the bracteate. Suppose here is the plant, and this is the flower. The flower is arranged here, and suppose this is called the petiole of the flower, and at the base of the petiole you can see a small or a pair of the finger-like structure. It is called stipule in the case of the flower leaf. You remember that. And this is called, in the case of the flower, it is known as the bract. If a bract present, it is known as the bracteate flower. If a bract is absent, it is known as the ebracteate flower. Okay, so that is the bracteate and ebracteate flower. Okay, so another technical term is the hypogynous, epigynous, and perigynous. So what is the word meaning this epigynous and perigynous? So all these are the technical terms. We are now just studying this. The different part of the flowers we can study details. Okay, so hypogynous, epigynous, and perigynous. So what is the word meaning of this epigynous, perigynous, and hypogynous? So let us take the word meaning for that. So first take the hypogynous flower. So what is actually hypogynous flower? Hypogynous flower. Hypogynous flower. Hypogynous example for the hypogynous is the hibiscus. The flower is a hypogynous. So when we say that the flower is a hypogynous, we say the flower is a hypogynous. That is, suppose this is the thalamus. Okay, so this is the thalamus. Enlarged part that is known as the thalamus. We already explained that point. Thalamus. Okay, in the thalamus, the main part that is called the gynoecium is present in the center. So this is the gynoecium. Stigma, style, and etc. We will study the details each and every part. So this is the gynoecium. Okay. On outside the gynoecium, you can see here. You can see the androecium. So this is the androecium. Androecium means the stamen. So this is the androecium. Then Then outside the androecium, you can see the corolla. So this is the corolla. Okay, so this is the corolla part. Outside the corolla, you can see the calyx. So the gynoecium or the ovary is present in the center, and all other parts are present above. Then this type of the flower is known as a hypogynous. So the word hypo means below. Gynous means gynoecium. So gynoecium is the lowermost part, and all other parts are present above that. Then it is known as a hypogynous flower. And this is also known as the superior ovary. So it is also known as superior ovary. The ovary is a superior ovary. Ovary is superior because the ovary is present in the superiormost position and all other parts are present below that. Then it is known as a superior. Actually, we can take the diagram like this. So this is the thalamus, and here you can see the ovary here, and other parts are arranged here. This is the androecium, this is the corolla, and this is the calyx. So all other parts below, and gynoecium present at the supermost position. So hypogynous flower is also known as what is ovary with the flower with the ovary at the superior or superior ovary. So the ovary is superior. Example here, mustard is one of the example. Mustard ovary. Mustard is an example. China rose is an example. China rose is an example. Hibiscus, otherwise called hibiscus, and brinjal is also example. It is example is very important. Brinjal. So next we can study the perigynous flower. So what is the perigynous flower? In the case of the perigynous, the thalamus will grow. See, perigynous flower. The thalamus will grow like this. The thalamus will grow and become a cup-shaped structure. So this is the pedicellum, and this is thalamus. It will grow and become a cup-like structure like this. Okay. In this cup, you can see the the gynoecium. The gynoecium present at the lowermost position. It is present at the base. Like this. This is the gynoecium. Okay. And other walls, that is the calyx. The calyx you can see above that. This is the calyx. Okay. This is the calyx. And the corolla also you can see here. Corolla also present here. This is the corolla. So this type of the arrangement is known as a perigynous. Why it is called a perigynous? Because here is the rim. If it is a cup, the cup having the rim. On the rim, the floral walls are arranged. And you can see the androecium. Androecium you can see here. The androecium also arranged here. This is the androecium. So on the periphery or on the rim of the cup, the floral walls are arranged except the gynoecium, which is present in the lowermost position. It may be look like this, or it may be look like this, like this. Very simple. It may be appearing like this. So this is the cup, and in the cup you can see the calyx, and you can see the gynoecium here. This is the gynoecium in the lowermost position. This is the gynoecium, and you can see the corolla is arranged here. This is the corolla part. This is the corolla, and the androecium is arranged here. This is the androecium. So if this is the method of arrangement, both these two are perigynous flower. Such type of the flower is known as the perigynous flower. Good example for the perigynous is the plum. So one of the good example for plum. Another example is the rose flower is an example, and the third one is the peach. So these examples is very important examination. Need examination asking this example and asking you to select perigynous, hypogynous, and epigynous. Let us see epigynous flower. So what is epigynous flower? Epigynous is just opposite the hypogynous. Okay. So what is a hypogynous? Hypogynous, the ovary present in the uppermost position, and here the ovary present in the lowermost position. They are about the same here, but the difference is that this thalamus, the thalamus is grown and it enclosed it completely the rim. You cannot see the rim. The rim also closed, so it becomes like this, completely closed, and the androecium. So the gynoecium is present in the center. So this is the style and stigma, and you can see here. So this is the gynoecium. So So in the gynoecium, you can see the ovule. So these are the ovule. And where is the calyx? So here is the calyx. This is the calyx. And where is the corolla? This is the corolla. Okay, this is the corolla. And androecium, you can see the androecium here. So this is the arrangement, because the difference between the perigynous and epigynous, in the case of the perigynous, it is not a closing, only the thalamus is enlarged into cup-shaped structure, and on the brim of the cup, the floral valves are arranged. In the case of the epigynous flower, the thalamus completely enlarging and closing, totally closing, and after closing, the gynoecium become in the center, and all other valves are arranged at the closed point here. So that is the difference between the epigynous and the perigynous flower. This is the thalamus. This is the pedicel. Okay. Then say what is the example for the epigynous? The epigynous gava is an example. Gava is an example. Another example is the cucurbita. Another example is the ray floret of the sunflower. The sunflower have two type of the flower. A floret of sunflower. Sunflower has two type of the flower. One flower present on the margin, sunflower, and another present in the center. The central one is known as the disc floret, sunflower, disc floret, and the marginal one is known as the ray floret. So it is seen in the ray floret only, epigynous flower. So these are the different type of the flowers based on the insertion of the floral valves on the thalamus. So that much today. And the next day we will study the different part, that is the calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium in detail. Thalamus in detail. Okay. Thank you very much.